And there'll be no wild camping this weekend with this rain. The UK is amazing. Look at the rain. No. What's up, everybody? So welcome to my channel, My Wild Adventures, and thank you for tuning into this week's video all about what to do in the tent at night. Have you ever been camping or wild camping or just solo camping and sat there wondering what on earth to do during the evening while you just sort of sat around your tent? In this video, I give a short documentary on what I got up to on my recent wild camping trip to the Carnarvon mountain range in North Wales. I simply go through what I get up to and how I spend my time in the evenings in the tent. I didn't have a mobile phone signal, I didn't have an internet signal, I had no way of connecting to the outside world. It was absolutely fantastic, and I managed to just chill out and relax in the tent. And in this video, I just go through what I did in terms of keeping myself busy. In addition to that, I also go through some mistakes that I made on my first wild camping trip. Obviously, it was my first time doing it, so there's a couple of things I did wrong and I'm reflecting on that I will maybe not do again. So keep your eye out for that. Towards the end of the video, I'll go through some things not to do on your first wild camping trip. So here we go then, let's get started and see what I get up to in the tent in the evening.
It was party time in the tent. Got some downloaded music on Spotify. Only got it on really quiet, just to give a bit of background noise. I've actually also got a book on my Kindle, The Science of Interstellar. I've been meaning to read it for a while. I've not really got around to it, so I'm reading a couple of chapters of that. Just chilling out in the middle of nowhere. It's quite refreshing not having to use an internet connection. I mean, I'm a bit like kind of detached from it because I am one of those people who are just always on my phone and just always on the internet. So it's quite weird because I know I want to go on YouTube and watch some YouTube videos, or like, I don't know, just message someone. But it's really nice. It's a proper nice break from, just constantly being connected. I like it a lot. Probably have to get in the tent in a minute and just zip it up. But I'm just enjoying this nice sort of. It's not that cold. When I'm out the window in the tent, it's not cold. So I'm enjoying being outside. So I'm enjoying the tent door being open while I'm reading. But the light of the phone is attracting big, gigantic sort of daddy long legs things, which is fine. They're not causing any harm, but just I don't want tons of them in the tent overnight. Yeah, it's chilled out. Just reading a book on the side of a mountain, listening to some funk. Nice. It's a weird experience, but it's a good one, I think. Yeah. Do you know what I am when I'm camping? My favourite part of camping is waking up in the morning and having that first coffee. Normally when I'm camping, I'm on a campsite. Sometimes there's an okay view, but just being outside the tent and having a coffee is always like one of my favourite things to do. But being here, when I wake up in the morning and unzip the tent, I'm hopefully going to have that epic mountain view of the mountains that are above Aber Falls. I'm not sure of the names of all of them, but Foilvrass is one of them and a couple of others. But just to sit and look at that while I'm having a coffee, it's just going to be incredible. I mean, I live for those little moments where you sort of find inner peace, So yeah, I'm feeling alright, It's good for a first while. It's a bit weird because I'm not filming like anything spectacular really because it's dark now. I didn't even film me cooking me tea properly. To be honest, when I got to the top of the big climb, the last climb, I was absolutely done. Really, really hard, and I wouldn't find that hard normally. It's just because I had the big pack on, but also I've never come up that way before, so it was bad planning really. I should probably have gone the way I known. So normally I go over Moylan and then over towards Gain, but I didn't do that this time. I went further down the North Wales path and then through this sort of wild path up the side of the hill. I assumed it was easier than Moylan, but it definitely wasn't. It was hard going because it was through quite a lot of marshland. The path was completely overgrown, so it was difficult to find, as I've already said. But I'm absolutely knackered now. And normally, I've only done like 3.5 miles, and I'm not sure how much elevation I've done. I'm predicting a couple of thousand feet, maybe 15,000 feet or something like that, maybe just over, maybe 18,000 feet. But I'm just like the weight of the pack and stuff like that. So yeah, but it's gonna be worth it in the morning if I sort of get through the night. That is, if the tent doesn't blow down or whatever. But it's gonna be worth it just waking up for that morning coffee with that absolutely incredible mountain view that I've got to look forward to. The video quality isn't going to be amazing because this camera isn't great in low light conditions, but I have got a big torch light on, so hopefully it's illuminate my face at least. But when I get in the tent and get in my bag, I'll do a couple of bits of more filming. But I'm just I've actually got a little bit of red wine. Not much, just one of them little bottles, but it's just nice just sitting here drinking that, reading a book, and just kind of in awe. You know, it's amazing. But I'm being quiet because I don't need to be, because there's nobody here. But I guess it's just the etiquette, really, isn't it? You know, we're in the middle of nature. We don't want to be disturbing, you know, the wildlife, the sheep, and you know, for all I know, there could be another camper nearby. Don't think there is, because it's a very wild place. Don't think many people camp this sort of area, as far as I know, because it's like in the middle of the valley. My original plan was to go up onto the main Carnadai Ridge and camp near Berabach or Gernwagau, but to be honest, I wouldn't have made it because I think I just left too late. I was naive. Because I've got young kids, I sort of said to my wife, I'll just go a bit later on, and I got here, pulled up in the car about 5:30. It took me about 15 minutes to get my bag and stuff sorted and get my boots on and stuff like that, because I don't drive my boots, and just all that stuff. It took me a long time to walk here. I was so unprepared for that, and I underestimated that walk, to be honest, because I thought it's 3 miles on paper, and you really do, you underestimate, because there's a significant amount of climbing, to be honest, because where I'm parked is at sea level. It's basically right by the sea, so the sea is the other side of the A55 and I'm parked the other side of the A55, so where I'm parked is like sea level, so I had to climb right up here from literally 0 meters above sea level pretty much. So I don't if you go your first wild camp, I mean, if I'd have known it would be this hard, I probably would have just gone maybe like to the North Wales path, and then probably would have camped at the bottom of Moel Yon. So that's probably would have been like about a mile and a bit of walking. So it still would have been a bit challenging getting up that little first hill, but it wouldn't have, like when I hit that second climb up to here, I was a little bit I wasn't enjoying it that much because it was the first time I've done it, and I wasn't expecting the weight of the pack to be that bad. But it really shocked me. But I mean, that was only towards the sort of latter part. I was just kind of a bit nervous about finding my way and sort of getting, finding a camp spot before it went dark, because I was just thinking maybe, what if I can't find somewhere to camp on? It's just because I'm new to it, and I think next time, and if you're thinking of doing a wild camp, don't walk too far and don't go too high, because it's a lot further than you think when you've got all that weight on you. And I've done loads of walking, loads of hill walks, and I've been round here many times, and I just sort of completely underestimated that it's different when you're wild camping, because you're carrying so much more weight. When you go with a day pack, alright, it's still a little bit heavy because you're carrying food and coffee and all that stuff in the day pack, but it's nothing like carrying a wild camping pack with a sleeping bag and an air mat and a tent and everything else. It is huge. So I'd do this again now because I know what to expect. I'd just come earlier and walk slower. I was rushing a little bit because I was concerned about time, and I got here at 7:30 and it started going dark. From then the sun started sort of going down behind the hills, and it was going dark by 8:30 kind of thing. So I was worried about lighting and making sure I got the tent set up properly, because it's been stormy, and if a storm did hit overnight, I'm going to be alright because I've pitched the tent right, and I've got some spare pegs in the bag there as well that I didn't use, so if it does get bad, if it were to get bad, I could get out of the tent, just lash some extra pegs into the guy lines just to be sure. So I think one of my tips and the point of this particular part of the video is just, I think I probably would have either gone earlier and taken it a lot easier, so maybe not walk quite as fast up the hills, because I've just got a tendency for running up, getting up the hills as quick as I can. I think it comes from me cycling. I think next time I'd just leave earlier maybe I'd be a couple of hours earlier and maybe have a stop because of carrying so much weight, or I'd probably just do a less hard walk, so maybe not as much elevation. Maybe just for your first one, maybe just go to like a bit of a flatter route and just maybe not push yourself too much. I think I would probably, but actually I'm here now and I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm tired, but like it's a good tired because I like exercise. I like being out of breath, and naively at some point I was thinking, oh, this is good training. Let's get, this could help me running. All this hill walking, could give me a bit of a fitness boost. But yeah, we'll see, won't we? But you make these mistakes, and it's not the worst of mistake. It was a bit tough, and I probably could have done with a bit of extra daylight because I don't really have much of that view. But I've got the morning. Hopefully, if we don't get any hill fog in the morning, and we have that view, it'll be absolutely amazing. So I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good morning, hopefully. Oh yeah.
And there we go, so there we have it. So that's what I get up to in the tent, and kind of just the mood of being alone in a tent in the middle of nowhere with nobody around and no internet signal or mobile phone signal. So what I like to do is I like to put a bit of music on just for a bit of background, because it is quite eerie up there when you're alone. So I only have it on quite quietly, but just so there's a little bit of an atmosphere in the tent. You could also have a podcast or some other kind of sound coming through your phone. I also like to read. It's the most peaceful place in the world to read a book, and obviously when it's dark at night, you can't see outside the tent anyway, so it's always good to have a little book with you or a Kindle and have a read instead of just sitting there doing nothing. I personally also like to have a little bit of wine, not that much, but just something to chill you out. Not everyone does, but some people do. Some people take a couple of beers or a glass of wine. It just chills you out, and it's a nice place to have a glass of wine or a beer. So I personally like to sit there and have a little glass of wine and read and listen to some music. If I did have an internet connection, which I didn't on that trip, I probably would sit there looking at maps and just browsing routes around the local area. And if I had a bit more light, I probably would go off and have a wander and explore. But I didn't go till quite late, so I didn't have much daylight. So I just thought I'd chill out, read a book, and have a little bit of music on the offline playlist. And that's what I did during the recent wild camping trip in North Wales. I must say it was very peaceful as well. It was a nice calming atmosphere, and I just sat there just really, really chilling out and relaxing. And it's great, and I recommend anyone to do it because you don't get that peace anywhere else. Thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I will see you next week. Please make sure you like and subscribe to help me to grow this channel and get me on more and more big adventures throughout the UK. See you next week.